singular thing. Not the brush against her shoulder, not the fingers sliding into her bag, not the moment her entire life was taken from her. Victoria Ashford, 34 years old, mother of 2, standing on the Northern Line platform at Leicester Square on a Tuesday afternoon. In exactly 7 seconds, her world will collapse. In that bag, her phone, her wallet, her house keys, photos of her children she'll never get back, and something else, something the thieves didn't expect to find. But I'm not telling you what. Not yet. You'll have to stay until the end to discover what Victoria lost that can never, ever be replaced. But what happened to Victoria? It's happening right now. To someone. Somewhere in Britain. Every single minute. You think you're safe. You think it won't happen to you. That's exactly what they're counting on. That arrogance. That false sense of security. That moment when you let your guard down for just 1 second. I'm about to take you inside the criminal underworld you walk past every single day. I'm going to show you things the police don't want you to see. Techniques the thieves don't want you to know. And by the end of this, you'll never look at a crowded street the same way again. This is Crime Scene Chronicles. And I've spent 6 months embedded in this world. I've spoken to victims who've lost everything, former pickpockets who've left the game, police officers fighting a war they're losing, and what I discovered will genuinely terrify you. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to reveal could save you thousands of pounds, could save your identity, could save you from becoming another statistic, and smash that notification bell because, trust me, you need to see every video we publish. Your safety depends on it. This is the true crime epidemic hiding in plain sight. And you are the target. Let me take you back to Victoria. Because her story, it's everyone's story. And I guarantee someone watching this right now is thinking, well, that would never happen to me. I'm too careful. That's what Victoria thought too. It's 3:47 p.m. She's heading home after a dentist appointment in central London. She's thinking about what to make for dinner. Her son has football practice at 5:30. She needs to pick up milk. Normal thoughts, normal day, normal life, the life you're living right now while watching this. She's checking her phone, scrolling through messages, and here's where everything goes wrong. Because while she's looking down at that screen, they're looking at her. 3 of them. 2 men and 1 woman. They've already marked her. They've already made the decision. They communicate with nothing more than a glance, a nod, and they move, like wolves isolating prey from the herd. The train pulls in. Doors open. Everyone surges forward. That's when it happens. The woman bumps into Victoria. "Oh, I'm so sorry," she says. Victoria smiles. "No worries," she replies. British politeness. The same politeness you'd show. It'll cost her everything. Because while Victoria's accepting that apology, while she's being the nice person she was raised to be, the decent person you were raised to be, the second man's hand is already inside her bag. 2 seconds. That's all it takes. 2 seconds and he has her purse. Victoria doesn't notice until she's home. 45 minutes later, she reaches for her keys and her hand finds nothing. Empty. And that feeling, that sickening, stomach-dropping, world-tilting realization. 12,000 Britons will feel that exact same feeling today. 12,000. In one day. That's 1 every 7 seconds. Someone just got robbed. And by the time you finish this video, another 100 people will join them. Drop a comment right now. Tell me, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever been pickpocketed? Because I want to know. Comment yes if you've been robbed. Comment no if you haven't. Leave comment now. But here's the part that should make your blood boil. That should make you absolutely rage. Only 3% of pickpocket victims ever get justice. Only 3% will see their attacker face consequences. The other 97%. They're just statistics, just numbers, just acceptable losses. You want to know what that means? That means if you're robbed, and statistically 1 in 4 of you watching this will be, you have a 97% chance of getting absolutely nothing. No justice, no refund, no consequences for the person who violated you. Nothing. Does that make you angry? It gets even worse. Oh, it gets so much worse. Because what happened to Victoria's cards in those 45 minutes, she didn't know they were gone. £4,700. Gone. Contactless payments. Apple Pay set up with her stolen phone. 14 transactions before she even realized she'd been robbed. And her bank initially refused to refund her because she failed to keep her card secure. Read that again. The victim was blamed. The person who was robbed was told it was her fault. She cried for 3 hours. Not about the money, about the feeling of violation, of being targeted, of being seen as nothing more than prey. That's what this crime does. It doesn't just take your possessions, it takes your sense of safety, your trust in humanity, your ability to move through the world without fear. And the worst part, the absolute worst part that will make you want to punch a wall. The people who did this to Victoria, they did it to 5 other people that same hour. It's not personal, it's business. You're not a victim to them. You're a mark, a target, a payday, human cattle to be harvested. So who are these people? Where do they come from? And why can't we stop them? Stay with me. Because what I'm about to tell you will change how you see every crowded space for the rest of your life. Let me introduce you to the invisible army. They call themselves the artists. And in their twisted world, your pocket is their canvas. Your suffering? That's just business overhead. I spoke to a man I'll call Maxwell, former pickpocket, 5 years in the game before he got out. And what he told me will shatter every assumption you have about these criminals, every comfortable lie you tell yourself about them being desperate or needy. People think we're desperate junkies. Maxwell told me, that's what makes us invisible. We're not. We're professionals. I used to make £2,000 a day, tax-free, and I was just mid-level. Pause this video. Read that again. £2,000 a day. Let me put that in perspective that'll make you sick to your stomach. That's more than most nurses make in a week, more than teachers who shape young minds, more than the police officers trying to catch them, more than you probably make. And Maxwell, he wasn't even one of the good ones. The elite pickpockets, the ones at the top of this criminal food chain, they're pulling in 6 figures annually. They drive Range Rovers, live in 4-bedroom houses in nice neighborhoods, send their kids to private schools, take holidays to Spain, and you'd never, ever suspect them. That's the thing that should absolutely terrify you. They don't look like criminals. They look like you, like me, like your neighbor, like the person sitting next to you on the bus right now. Comment if that freaks you out. Maxwell explained how it works. The hierarchy, the structure, the rules. Because yes, they have rules. This isn't chaos. It's organized crime masquerading as petty theft. It's a corporation built on your suffering. At the bottom, you have the dippers, the newbies learning the craft. They're assigned to experienced toolers who teach them the techniques, the touch, the timing, the art of being invisible, like an apprenticeship, like a legitimate trade. Except the trade is robbing you. They practice on mannequins with bells attached to pockets. If the bell rings, they've failed. They practice on each other with bets on who can steal without being noticed. They watch hundreds of hours of CCTV footage, studying the tells, the mistakes, the moments when people let their guard down. They study you, your habits, your vulnerabilities, your predictable human nature. Right now, there are criminals somewhere in Britain watching footage of crowds, learning how to rob you more efficiently. How does that make you feel? Comment your reaction. Then you have the toolers themselves, the experienced thieves. Maxwell could lift a wallet so smoothly you'd swear it was magic. He could unzip your bag without you feeling a thing. He once removed a man's Rolex while shaking his hand. And at the top, the gaffers, the organizers. They scout locations. They assign target. They fence the stolen goods. They launder the money through legitimate businesses. They run this operation like Amazon runs deliveries, with managers, with targets, with performance reviews, with bonuses for exceeding quotas. Here's something that'll make you absolutely sick. They have quotas, daily quotas. Maxwell told me his was 20 touches per day minimum, 20 people, 20 lives disrupted, 20 families coming home to find their sense of security shattered. And if you don't hit your quota, you don't eat, you don't get paid. Your gaffer finds someone else. So they're motivated, desperately motivated, which makes them dangerous, which makes them aggressive, which makes them willing to target anyone, even children, even the elderly, even the disabled. And that brings me to the part that made me want to stop researching this topic, the part that made me genuinely angry. Are you ready for this? Because this is where it gets really dark, really disturbing. They target the vulnerable, deliberately, systematically, ruthlessly, and they don't feel bad about it. Not even a little bit. The elderly woman with the walking stick? Prime target, slow-moving, easily confused, unlikely to fight back, probably carrying her entire pension in cash because she doesn't trust banks. The tourist family with kids? Perfect, distracted, unfamiliar with their surroundings, carrying expensive cameras and passports worth thousands on the black market. The person with disabilities? Even better in their eyes, less able to respond, less likely to pursue, less likely to be believed if they do report it. This isn't random crime. It's calculated predation. It's hunting human beings for sport and profit, and it makes me absolutely rage. Share this video to keep others alert. Share it to your family, your friends, your community. Because these aren't criminals of circumstance. They're not stealing bread to feed starving children. They're stealing from grandmothers to fund their lifestyle. I met an 81-year-old woman named Dorothy. They stole her pension, her dead husband's wedding ring, the only thing she had left of him. The only photo she had of her daughter who died of cancer. All gone in 5 seconds while she was boarding a bus. And when I asked Dorothy how she felt about the person who did it, she said something I'll never forget, something that broke me. She said, "I hope they needed it more than me." That's who they're robbing. People who respond to cruelty with compassion. People who've lived honest lives for 8 decades. People who don't deserve this. So when people try to romanticize pickpockets, when they call them artful dodgers or compare them to Robin Hood, when they make movies glorifying this, I want to scream. Because there's nothing romantic about stealing a pensioner's rent money, nothing artful about traumatizing a tourist family, nothing heroic about ruining someone's day, their week, their sense of security, nothing entertaining about making an 81-year-old woman cry. Show the algorithm that this matters. Because if this video doesn't perform, Crime Scene Chronicles can't keep investigating these stories, can't keep exposing these criminals, can't keep protecting you. But understanding them, understanding their methods, their psychology, their techniques, that's not romanticizing, that's survival. Because knowledge is the only weapon we have. And I'm about to arm you with that weapon. So let me give you that weapon. Let me show you the 10 things they don't want you to know. The 10 techniques, tactics, and truths that will make you a harder target, than 95% of people out there. Starting with the one thing that makes you most vulnerable, and I promise you, you're doing it right now. Truth number 1, and this is the one that changed everything for me when Maxwell explained it. When he revealed the secret they never want you to know. You're not randomly selected. You're hunted, studied, analyzed, selected based on specific criteria. They watch you for minutes before they strike, sometimes longer. Sometimes they follow you through 3 or 4 streets, waiting for the perfect moment. They're looking for specific signs, specific tells, and once they see them, you're marked, you're prey. The decision is made. Your phone in back pocket. You've just been marked. Bag hanging behind you? Marked. Stopping to take a photo with both hands on your camera? Marked. Counting cash in public? Marked. Wearing headphones? Marked. Looking at a map? Marked. Arguing with your partner? Marked. Carrying shopping bags that occupy both hands? Marked. And here's the really insidious part that Maxwell revealed. They communicate about you, in front of you, around you, through you, and you have no idea it's happening. Hand signals, coded words, glances. They'll point you out to their partner without you ever knowing. Right now, in this moment, someone could be watching you through a bus window, in a coffee shop, at the station, making the decision, signaling their partner, preparing to strike. Maxwell told me about the signals. Touching your nose means good target, lots of valuables. Scratching your ear means police nearby, abort. Tapping your watch means move now, optimal moment. Adjusting your collar means I'll distract, you lift. They have an entire language built around robbing you, an entire secret code operating in plain sight. Comment, mind blown if you had no idea this was happening. Comment, I knew it if you suspected. Let me see who's been paying attention. So how do you avoid being marked? How do you make yourself invisible to predators? How do you become the one person in a crowd of 50 they decide to skip? Head up, eyes forward, purposeful movement, like you own the space. No phone in hand, or at least not fully absorbed in it. Bags in front, hand on them at all times. And here's the key. Here's the secret weapon Maxwell told me works almost every time. Make eye contact. Predators hate being seen, hate being acknowledged, hate being remembered. If you look at them, really look at them, hold their gaze for 2 seconds, you've just made yourself 70% harder to rob. Because you've seen them. You can identify them. You're a witness before the crime even happens. Their greatest weapon isn't their skill. It's your inattention, your distraction, your belief that it won't happen to you, your trust in humanity. They weaponize your virtues against you. But that's just truth number 1. Truth number 2, it's going to make you rethink your entire commute. Make you see public transport differently forever. Stay with me. Like and subscribe if you're learning something, because this next part could save you thousands. Truth number 2 will make you paranoid about ever using public transport again. The London Underground isn't just transport. It's not just convenient infrastructure. It's the single most profitable crime scene in Britain. It's a conveyor belt of victims. It's their office, their factory, their gold mine. Every day, 5 million journeys. And hidden in that chaos, hidden in those crowds, professional criminals pulling in thousands of pounds per hour. The Metropolitan Police estimate 1 in every 200 tube journeys involves theft. 1 in 200. That's 25,000 crimes per day. Per day. That's more than 1 million per month. Do the math. That's devastating. That's an epidemic. Comment shocking if those numbers horrify you. Comment now. Why the tube? Why is it so perfect for them? 3 reasons. And once you understand these 3 reasons, you'll never stand near the doors again. You'll never check your phone on a packed carriage again. you'll change your entire behavior. Reason 1. Forced proximity. On a packed Northern Line carriage at 8 a.m., you're pressed body to body with complete strangers. That brush of a hand against your pocket, you assume it's accidental. It's not. That bump from behind, deliberate. That person apologizing for stepping on your foot, creating the distraction while their partner works your bag. They use the crowd as cover. Use your discomfort with intimacy against you. Because British people especially, we don't like confrontation. We don't like making a scene. Someone's pressed against us. We assume it's just crowded. We tolerate it. We don't challenge it. And they know that. They exploit that cultural tendency toward polite silence. Reason 2. Predictable exits. They know you're distracted when the doors open. They know you're focused on getting out, on not missing your stop, on pushing through the crowd. They know you're not paying attention to your bag. So they strike in that window, that 3 to 5 second window between doors opening and you stepping off the train. And reason 3. This is the clever one. This is what makes them almost impossible to catch. This is why conviction rates are so low. Immediate escape. They steal at Piccadilly Circus. They exit at Leicester Square. 30 seconds later, they're gone. By the time you realize you've been robbed, usually 5, 10, sometimes 20 minutes later, they're already 4 stops away. Different line, different direction, different crowd. Untraceable, unreachable, unpunishable. The hotspots? Write these down. Screenshot this part of the video. Leicester Square, Oxford Circus, King's Cross, St Pancras, London Bridge, Bank. These 5 stations account for 40% of all tube crime. If you use these stations regularly, you are in the danger zone. You are at maximum risk. But it's not just London. Don't think you're safe if you're not in the capital. Manchester Piccadilly, 300 incidents per month. Birmingham New Street, £250 per month. Glasgow Central, £180 per month. Edinburgh Waverley, especially bad during festival season, over 400 incidents in August alone. Every major transport hub is crawling with them. Every single one. Comment which station you use. Let's see where Crime Scene Chronicles viewers are most at risk. Comment your station now. So what do you do? How do you protect yourself in this environment? How do you become unrobbable? Stand with your back against walls or poles. Never stand in the middle of the carriage where you can be surrounded. Keep your bag in front, hand on it at all times. Not casual hand, deliberate grip. Don't use your phone during crowded periods, or if you must, hold it in a way that it can't be snatched. And here's the crucial one that Maxwell taught me. Here's the insider secret. Watch for the runner. The runner is how they escape. The dip makes the steal, and immediately, within seconds, passes the item to the runner. The dip has clean hands, no evidence, can't be charged even if caught. The runner exits at the next stop with your stuff. If you see someone board a carriage, look around intensely scanning faces, position themselves near the doors, and stay hyper alert. That might be your runner, and if it is, you need to move. Now, change carriages at the next stop. Get off entirely if you can. Because where there's a runner, there's a dip, and someone's about to get robbed. This information alone could save you hundreds, thousands of pounds. Subscribe to Crime Scene Chronicles if you value this information. We're the only channel giving you this level of detail, this level of insider knowledge. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, protect yourself. Truth number 3, and this one. This is where they become magicians, where theft becomes performance art, where you become the unwitting participant in your own robbery, where they make you complicit in your own victimization. Every magic trick has three parts: the pledge, the turn, the prestige, and pickpocketing. It follows the exact same structure. It is magic. Dark magic built on deception and exploitation. The pledge, they show you something ordinary. Someone drops their bag. Someone spills their coffee on themselves. Someone asks for directions. Your brain registers it as normal, non-threatening, boring even. Nothing to be concerned about. Just another moment in a busy day. The turn, while your attention is focused on that normal thing, on helping the person who dropped their bag, or giving directions to the lost tourist, or avoiding the spilled coffee. Something extraordinary happens behind the scenes. Their partner moves, hands enter bags, wallets are lifted, phones vanish, all while you're being a good person. The prestige, they vanish, gone before you ever realize the trick was played, gone before you realize you've been robbed. And just like magic, by the time you figure out how the trick was done, it's too late to do anything about it. The magician has left the theatre. Let me give you real examples. Actual techniques used on British streets right now, today, this hour. And these will make you paranoid, genuinely paranoid. They'll make you question every interaction. And honestly, that's good. Paranoia is survival. The clipboard scam. This one makes me furious because it weaponizes your desire to help people, your charitable instincts, your kindness. Someone approaches you with a clipboard. They're wearing a charity vest, usually fake UNICEF or Cancer Research UK. They have an official-looking badge. Do you have a moment to save the environment, to help children, to fight cancer? They thrust the clipboard at you. You take it because you're polite, because you're British, because you don't want to be rude, because you're a good person. While you're holding that clipboard, reading whatever manufactured nonsense is on it, while you're feeling guilty about saying no to charity, their partner is behind you, in your bag, taking your wallet, taking your phone, taking everything. By the time you hand the clipboard back and say, sorry, not today, by the time you walk away feeling slightly guilty for not donating, you've already been robbed. And you won't know for hours, won't know until you're at the checkout counter, until you're trying to board the train home, until you're standing at your front door with no keys. Maxwell did this one religiously, 4 times per hour during lunch breaks in business districts. He said it worked 80% of the time, 80%, because people are hardwired to be polite, to help, to engage with causes they believe in, and they weaponize your decency against you. Comment. This happened to me if you've experienced this. Comment, I almost fell for this if you've been approached. Let's see how widespread this is. Comment now so others can see they're not alone. The mustard squirt. This one is pure psychological manipulation, pure theatre, and it works disturbingly well. You're walking through Covent Garden, through Borough Market, through any tourist area. Suddenly, you feel something wet on your back, on your shoulder, on your bag. Someone rushes over immediately, almost too quickly. Oh my God, a bird just got you. Bloody pigeons. Here, let me help. They start wiping your jacket with napkins. Really going at it. So helpful, so concerned, so focused on cleaning you. You're embarrassed, disgusted, focused on the mess. Wondering if you smell. Wondering if you need to buy a new shirt. Your entire attention is on this substance and this helpful stranger. Except there was no bird. That was mustard from a squeeze bottle, or ketchup, or ice cream, or any substance that creates urgency and confusion and disgust. And while this Good Samaritan is cleaning you, while you're distracted and the vulnerable and grateful, their partner is cleaning out your pockets, your bag, everything. They're not helping you. They're robbing you. The mess is manufactured. The concern is fake. The entire scenario is a setup. You're the mark, the victim, the target. Variations include fake bird droppings, accidentally, spilled drinks, dropped ice cream cones that land on you, even stage food fights that splash you. Anything that creates mess and urgency and the need for immediate cleaning, and it works. Comment evil genius if you're shocked by how sophisticated this is. Comment never helping anyone again. If this makes you want to avoid all strangers, let me see your reactions. Then there's the child scam. And this one? This one makes me genuinely angry. This one crosses every moral line you can imagine. A child, usually between 8 and 12 years old, approaches you. They're holding a map or a piece of cardboard with writing on it, sometimes a teddy bear, sometimes flowers. "Can you help me?" they ask in a small, vulnerable voice. "I'm lost." Or, "Can you buy a flower for my sick mother?" Or, "Can you read this for me?" You lean down to hear them better, to help them, because they're a child, and you're not a monster. While you're focused on this child, on trying to help this child, on being concerned about this child's welfare, adult hands are in your pockets. They use the young ones as accomplices, as shields, as weapons. Because who suspects the very young ones? Who's going to physically defend themselves against someone that young? Who's going to grab their arms and demand their wallet back? Nobody. They know nobody will. That's why it works. And these kids, they're often victims themselves. From Romania, Albania, Vietnam, coerced by adults who should be protecting them, threatened with violence if they don't meet quotas, used by organized crime gangs who treat them as assets, not humans. It's abuse on multiple levels. You're victimized. And the system fails everyone. The police can't arrest them because of their age. They're victims. The adults disappear into the background, and nobody faces consequences. This makes me want to scream, makes me want to throw things, because there's a special place in hell for adults who exploit children this way, who turn innocence into a weapon. If you see this happening, if you see children being used this way, call 999. Report it. Those kids need help, not punishment. Share this video. Share it everywhere. Because the more people who know, the more kids we can save. Hit share right now. Do it. Truth number 4 is about to make you want to throw every device you own into the Thames. The very technology designed to make your life easier, to keep you connected, to make you more efficient. It's making you a target, a flashing, beeping, GPS-tracked, highly valuable target. That iPhone in your hand right now, it's worth £800 on the black market. That Samsung, £600. That iPad, £700. Less than an hour after it's stolen, it'll be in a Faraday bag, blocking all signals, making Find My iPhone useless. Less than 3 hours, it'll be on a courier van, heading to Eastern Europe or West Africa, where your security measures mean absolutely nothing. But it's not just the phone itself that they want. It's what's on it. Your banking apps, your photos, sometimes intimate ones they'll use for extortion, your emails containing password reset links, your notes with PIN and passwords, your entire digital life, your entire identity. And here's what will terrify you. Here's what kept me awake at night after Maxwell told me. They watch you enter your PIN. They stand behind you on the tube, in queues at coffee shops, at cash machines, in supermarkets. They watch your fingers, memorize the pattern, and the moment they have your phone. They have your money, your accounts, your life. Maxwell told me he'd memorized dozens of PINs, could watch you type it once and remember it hours later. And the really skilled ones, the elite level pickpockets, They can tell your PIN by watching the angle of your hand. They don't even need to see the screen, just the position of your fingers, the muscle movements, the pattern. In the hour after your phone is stolen, just 60 minutes, they can transfer money from your banking apps, use Apple Pay or Google Pay to make purchases, access your email and lock you out of your accounts, change passwords on your social media, access your photos and cloud storage, contact people in your phone asking for money, essentially destroy your digital life. There's a case from last year. A man named Trevor from Manchester had his phone stolen on the tram. Within 40 minutes, the thieves had transferred £12,000 from his business account. 40 minutes, his entire business savings, gone, because he had his banking app set to stay logged in for convenience. The solution? It's going to sound paranoid. It's going to sound extreme. But paranoia is survival in this environment. Paranoia keeps you safe. Screen protector with a privacy filter. Makes your screen invisible from angles. Costs £15. Buy one today. RFID. Blocking wallet. Actually works. Actually necessary. Not a gimmick. Costs £20. Buy one today. Face ID only on your phone. Never use PIN in public spaces. Ever. And never, ever, ever have your banking apps set to stay logged in. Every transaction should require Face ID or fingerprint. Every single one. Yes, it's slightly less convenient. It's also significantly more secure. Like this video if you're going to implement these measures. Comment protected when you've done it. Show me you're taking this seriously. Because this information only helps if you actually use it. Now here's something I haven't told you yet. Something Maxwell revealed that changed everything. Something the police don't want publicized because it would cause mass panic. These criminals, they're not working alone. They're not isolated operators. They're part of international networks, organized crime syndicates with reach across Europe and beyond. Your stolen goods, they're being shipped out of the country within hours. Sold in markets you'll never access, to buyers you'll never find. And here's the truly terrifying part. They share information. They have databases. If you've been marked once, if you've been successfully robbed once, your details get shared. Your patterns, your habits, your vulnerabilities. You become a known target, easy prey for anyone in the network. That's why some people get robbed multiple times. It's not bad luck. It's not coincidence. You're on a list, a database of successful marks. And every pickpocket in the network has access to it. But there's something even darker. Something Maxwell only told me after I promised anonymity. Something that will make your blood run cold. Some of these gangs, they don't just steal. They scout for larger crimes. They're identifying wealthy targets. People with expensive jewelry, people who mention they live alone, people who carry keys with address tags. They're gathering intelligence for burglaries, for home invasions, for worse. That casual pickpocketing on the tube. That's just the opening move. The real crime comes later, when they have your address from your driving license, when they know you're not home because they've stolen your work ID. When they've copied your house keys before discarding your bag. Maxwell told me about a woman whose bag was stolen. 2 days later, her house was burgled. They knew exactly where she lived, exactly when she'd be at work, exactly what jewelry she owned because they'd seen photos on her stolen phone. The pickpocketing wasn't the crime. It was the reconnaissance. This is the level of sophistication we're dealing with. This is why I'm telling you to take this seriously. This is why Crime Scene Chronicles exists. To expose these networks, to protect you, to give you knowledge that could save not just your wallet, but your safety, your home, your life. Subscribe right now. Turn on notifications. because we're going to expose every tactic, every network, every truth they don't want you to know. Be part of this community. Protect yourself. Protect your loved ones. And remember what I said at the beginning about Victoria Ashford, about what she lost that can never be replaced? In her bag, along with her phone and wallet, was a USB drive. On that drive were videos of her mother who died 6 months earlier, singing to Victoria's children, reading them stories, laughing with them. The only recordings she had. The only way her children would remember their grandmother's voice. The thieves dumped the bag in a bin, kept the electronics, kept the cash, and threw away those memories, those irreplaceable, priceless memories, because to them, it was just trash, just worthless data on a worthless drive. Victoria still cries about it. Not the money, not the phone, the memories. Her children asking to hear Grandma's voice, and she has nothing to show them, nothing to give them, because someone decided her suffering was worth £800. That's what these criminals do. That's what this epidemic costs. Not just money, not just possessions, memories, security trust, humanity. So comment right now. Tell me you'll be more careful. Tell me you'll watch your surroundings. Tell me you'll protect yourself and others. And share this video. Share it everywhere. Because every person who watches this is one less victim, one less Dorothy, one less Victoria, one less family destroyed by preventable crime. This is Crime Scene Chronicles. We're fighting back against the invisible army. Join us, subscribe, stay safe, and never, ever let your guard down, because they're watching, they're waiting, and you're the target.